Hello and welcome back to the Indian PokeTube, and this time we are back with another spicy team featuring the Sneasler as a closer and running the Galarian Weezing as a safe switch. It is another ABB team which did pretty well after I dropped a lot of yellow when I was like traveling to the hills in India, and did not get any internet. We still tried to play a lot of games, me and Harsh both, but we both ended up losing. A lot of lag was there. Anyway, so in the first game we pick up a lead against the guy, the little like charmer boy, and then we're going to safe switch to the Galarian Weezing at some point because we need to draw out the potential like ground type or the fire type. He responds with an Empoleon. I can go for a brutal swing first, and now he's in range where one overheat is going to boom the Steely Penguin. I'm going to shield the Hydro Cannon here, like overfarm by like quite a bit, and bait with a brutal swing, expecting the opponent to shield, and I do get the shield here, which is amazing. And now I can go straight for the overheat and either get both shields or flip switch. Which one do we get? We get both his shields, which is fine by us because now Sneasler with shield advantage is just goes out of town. So he's going to take us out. We're going to come in with the guy, and he's going to come in with the Sylveon. We have a lot of energy on the thick Walrus. We can tank a move. I was hoping it's not a Moonblast because I think honestly a Moonblast may have KO'd. So I'm going to go for the Icicle Spear and put him into farm down range for the Sneasler. In comes the champ. We can farm him down all the way. If he brings in the Empoleon, I'm going to overfarm a lot. Honestly, I should have just thrown the CC right now, but slight misplay by me, but I think it's fine. I can overfarm by 2 more Shadow Claws, go for a close combat. This is going to boom the Steely Penguin, and let's see what he has in the bag. And he has a Machamp, and now all I'm hoping is that this close combat does enough damage because I also have an Icicle Spear loaded on the guy. He's at 4 counters right now, and I have the loaded Icicle Spear wham bam combo play like Jamie Finn says, and take out the Machamp, and that's a great game. So that like loaded charge move came in super clutch in the first game, and that's just my playstyle. I love to load a move on the first mon so that I can snipe something later on. So that was a really good game, and there is a lot of logic in the way this team is set up. Wolverine is weak to fighting, and the backline is very good to fighting. Second match hard counted on the lead. I'm going to save switch to my Galarian Weezing. Opponent takes a lot of time thinking about what to do, and this gives me the potential to flip this. So he comes in with the Swampert after giving me a massive energy lead. Like I said, Galarian Weezing is still pretty rare because not everyone has access to it because it doesn't spawn in the wild, and so this gives, this like confuses people. They're really not sure who to bring in. Like you can also run Play Rough, you can run Hyper Beam. So right now I think I can get both shields because I'm ahead on energy. So I'm going to shield this move, and I can outpace to the next Hydro Cannon. I was counting at this point. His next Hydro Cannon was 5 mud shots away, whereas I'm just 4 Fairy Winds away to the Brutal Swing. So by shielding once, I can get both his shields or flip switch. So I do get his final shield, and I'm going to go for another one here, but the opponent throws the move. I'm fine with that because I have a Sneasler, and the opponent clearly does not have a great response. Like Swampert was his response, so I'm feeling quite confident with my Sneasler. Let's see if my Sneasler can just sweep him right now. In comes the Virizion, so I'm going to go for an Icicle Spear, and he has just reached energy for a Sacred Sword, so I'm going to switch and catch the move on the Sneasler. Perfectly played, and at this point I think this match is pretty much done, but let's see how this goes. He has no move which can hit me for neutral. Sacred Sword, Leaf Blade, Stone Edge, they're all resisted. I can tank a couple of moves here and there. I can overfarm massively, go for an X-Scissor, take out the guy, and I'm going to check for the typing on the top of the screen. If he brings in the Obstagoon, I'm going straight for the close combat. He's loaded with a lot of energy. I don't want to waste my shield. He does bring in the Obstagoon. We win the CMP tie, and guess what? Boom! It one-shots the Obstagoon from 100% health. Opponent comes in with Swampert, gets farmed down. Sneasler sweeps 3 mons casually, and that is a great game. I'm a big fan of Sneasler. I'm a big fan of mons with high attack stats which can boom things, but sadly Sneasler is a double-edged sword, and it comes at the cost of bulk. It has 0 bulk. Next match we pick up a lead against Giratina, which is pretty like decent for 2 of our mons, but he responds with the Swampert, and honestly this is where we want to see the Swampert, so I'm just going to stay in here. I can align my Galarian Weezing on the guy on the Giratina, so I'm pretty happy to face Swampert here. I'm going to stay in. He goes for the Earthquake, which is fine. He has to go for another Earthquake to KO me. So I'm feeling quite confident staying in with the big thick boy, and just going to go for another Icicle Spear. This is not enough for the Earthquake. I was counting in the game, so I know that this is not enough, and I can go for an Icicle Spear after overfarming slightly, and I'm going to stay in here because, like I said, I need to keep switch advantage, keep the big thick guy on my Galarian Weezing. Let's see what he has in the bag. As you'll see, he has an Escavalier, so honestly my Sneasler does not have a lot of play. So I'm going to go for a bait here with the Galarian Weezing. It's all up to Galarian Weezing versus 2 Mons right now. I get the shield with the first move, and this is amazing because I could be running the Play Rough or the Hyper Beam as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to overfarm a lot and then go straight for the overheat. If he shields this, I can switch out to my guy and kind of sack him. So he lets it go, boom, it fries the guy, and that is going to be a great game. The opponent is going to stay in and play, but I can take the opportunity right now to talk about a couple of other things. But before that, what I'm going to do is just go for the close combat here to limit the number of Shadow Claws that the opponent gets, because this is going to debuff my own defense by 4 stages, and that's going to allow the opponent less farm. And then I can just come in with the guy, go for the back-to-back brutal swings. One will get the shield and one will pick up the KO. And he did not build up to the Shadow Force, so I'm not going to waste my shield because no point. Why should I? Because I don't have to. It's going to be a great game here. So we really tried playing the Monotype Cup, me and Harsh both. But like I said, we were traveling to Gangtok in Sikkim, and the internet there is absolutely horrible. So even though we did pick up quite a lot of wins, most of the games is lagged out, and we just played for the sake of it and ended up dropping a lot of yellow. So I do have a couple of very spicy battles at the end of this video as bonus battles. So if you want to see them, then stick around because it's going to be, I think, the last match in this set. So we are 3-0 so far. 4th match we pick up a bit of a core breaker because except for Galarian Weezing, both Walrein and the Sneasler struggles against the big thick jelly. What I'm going to do is initially stay in and go for a lot of chip damage with an Earthquake, and I'm going to save a lot of health and some energy on the big thick Walrus, and I'm going to save switch to my guy. He's in range where I can Shadow Climb down if required later on in the game by shielding once or twice. So I'm feeling confident that I can handle the big thick jelly. Let's draw out the fire type, or in this case the Gliscor. So I'm very happy to draw it out so that my Sneasler does not have to face it. I can go for a brutal swing and an overheat on the CMP tie. Honestly, I could have thrown one more because it's only 8 right now. I think it's 9 to the Earthquake. So, and that does massive damage. It almost one-shots him. I could honestly shield and flip him, but I don't want to because like I said, at that health, my Sneasler can take care of the jelly. Opponent goes for the back-to-back Night Slashes with KOs, but that's fine. Can bring in the Walrus, take him out. Let's see what he chooses to bring in. He brings in the thick jelly, and this is an important point in the game. I feel he's going to bait because he may have another Mon weak to Walrein. It could be an ABB team. I do get the shield, and I'm going to catch here on the Sneasler. I have a big feeling he's going to bait with the Surf, and that is exactly what happened. So 2 big 50-50s are played correctly by us, and that's going to win us the game. In the back, he's running a spicy Skunk Tank with Bite. I mean, it does make a lot of sense with all the Cresselias, the ghost types like Magellicent and the Giratina. So there are a lot of Mons which are weak to Bite, so I can appreciate that. But at this point, it's pretty much over because now my Walrein can just come in. I can shield this. It doesn't matter whether he baits or not. I can just go for the back-to-back Icicle Spears and win the game. So that's going to be a great game. So kudos to the opponent for running something different like a Bite Skunk Tank. Even though it's a bulky XL Mon, I have a lot of respect for the opponent there. So great game. And that's going to be a GG, and that was a great set right there. And now I'm going to show you some of the battles that I played in the Monotype Cup, or rather the Single Type Cup. I keep calling it the Monotype Cup because I used to play the Monotype League on Pokemon Showdown, and I absolutely loved it. I hope that they implement it someday in Pokemon Go as well, but this is going to be the same type cup. First match, hard counter on the lead. It's an ABB team. It's a theory that the superior is supposed to bait out the fire, steel or the poison type so that my Shadow Charm Bull can sweep. That's the strategy of this team. So I don't get the debuff sadly in that match. In comes the big tin can. And what I'm going to do here is go for a couple of Leaf Tornadoes. This team works like a charm. As you'll see, I get the debuff. I'm going to go for another one. If I get both the debuffs here, you will see how insane superior can be. It's a 50% chance. Sadly, I do not get the debuff on the second one. That would have made the match so much easier, but I am going to get the first one there, which is fine. I'm going to go for another here, but I lose CMP it seems, or the tap didn't work. I'm not sure. Either way, he takes out my guy. Now I can come in with the pseudo voodoo and farm him all the way down, because pretty sure I can live a focus blast from this point, because it's double debuffed. It's going to do 75 damage, so I can easily tank it and farm him all the way down. If he comes in with the guy, the coffin boy, I'm going to go for a rock slide to chip him with some meaningful damage, and it's going to be an Umbreon, so I'm going to switch out to my Grand Bull, because I think I can charm him all the way down. I was hoping that I could charm him down before he reached the second move, but he had a lot of energy. Sadly, he makes it to a second move, so I have to give my shield. So I'm going to shield the Dark Pulse. I was not counting his moves at the start of the game. In comes the Umbreon. I'm going to go for a Cruncher, fishing for the defense drop, because the opponent is going to shield anyway, and sadly I don't get it. If I got the defense drop, it was an instant win for me. So 50-50 is not going my way in terms of luck, and now I have to farm him down before he reaches the move. Come on, Pseudo Voodoo farms down the bulky little Umbreon, and we take that game. Had we got the two back-to-back debuffs on the Registeel, we would have actually flipped him with Superior. I've done that on 2 occasions, and it's absolutely insane. So I think Superior is the best safe switch, and for when you're partnering him with a charm user like the Charm Bull. Pick up a lead against the Berserker in the final game. It's a bonus battle again, and I'm going to just counter him all the way down. If he goes for the CC, amazing. Even if he baits, that's fine. He goes for the CC and he safe switches to the Ghost Boy. So I'm going to chip him here with a nice little rock slide, and then I'm going to bring in the Serp, because the Serp is the tankiest mon on the team. I mean, Sudowoodo is kind of balanced, but Serp is kind of tanky. I'm going to go for a nice Frenzy Plant. Even if it doesn't take him out, I can get some energy later on, so that's what I'm going to go for. I don't get the debuff, which is absolutely heartbreaking. I get lag. It's story of my life. I mean, there was so much lag, so I can't really help it. I mean, I had bad internet in the hills, like I said. These battles were played in the hills. I'm going to go for a double resisted counter farm down, and luckily I'm able to get it and get a lot of beautiful energy. In comes a Shadow Machamp. Now it's all up to Shadow Charm Bull. I can farm down the Berserker by shielding, and now the Machamp is still 5 counters away from the Rock Slide, so I can go for 3 charms, 1, 2, 3, and opponent will reach the Rock Slide, but my Sudowoodo can farm him down. So Charm Bull did what Charm Bull does best. Nom nom nom, eat up everything. Do subscribe to the channel.